In this video, we will find the domain and range of linear equations. Pictured are primary vocabulary words that you should ensure you are familiar with. If you're not, I recommend that you look in prior notes and possibly videos online. Number 14, a set of weights includes a 4-pound barbell and 6 pairs of weight plates. Each pair of plates weighs 20 pounds. If X pairs of plates are added to the barbell, the total weight of the barbell and plates in pounds can be represented by f of x equals 20x plus 4. What is the range of the function for this situation? Okay, using the TI-30, we simply need to put the equation into our table. So press table, clear out what's there, and we have 20x plus 4. Okay, and how many pairs of weights do we have? Well, we have 6. This tells me that my domain is from 0 to 6, and it is whole numbers, okay? Knowing that, and that we are actually looking for the range, first, I know that I can exclude option A because that would be my domain, 0, 1 pair, and then 2, 3, 4, and so on. So that at least excludes one option. Now let's look at what happens with our function and what would our actual uh, range be. And we know that we would have actually 7 values, including the 0, because the 0 would give us our b value. So we have our b value and then 6 more values. Okay, so let's push enter. And I'm going to start at 0, and I need steps of 1 because the pairs of plates are whole. We aren't going to have half a plate. That's just not reasonable. So let's put 1. All right, and let's use auto. I don't want to, well, I could put in 0 to 6, but this is a multi-view calculator, and it only gives me 3 lines. So that would kind of be a waste of time for me. So let's keep entering until we get what we need. Okay, there's our table. So remember, domain is our x values. What we need are the y values. And we need 4, 24, 44, 64, 84, 104. And for the sixth one, it'd be 0 to 6. We need 124, which verifies option B. Okay, and obviously we don't have, there aren't enough values in the sets of C and D. Okay, let's try another calculator. Using the TI-84, we will again enter our equation and we will enter it in our y equals. Now, we need to get rid of what we had from our prior question. So let's just clear that out. Remember, use clear, not delete, and go back up. I'm not going to use the yellow that's in there for this. Probably should use a little brighter color because if you remember from other videos, I have a black background on my calculator. So let's push enter and let's use something else. My favorite, light blue looks good. That one looks good. Navy is too dark, but the magenta, or the white even, but I like that magenta. Oh, how about orange? Let's use that. Okay, so let's go down and push OK. Now we actually need to enter it. Go all the way over where you enter, and we have 20x plus 4. Okay, let's see what that graph looks like. Okay, but it doesn't do us much good as far as knowing our y values. And if you recall, we are looking for the range, not the domain. But we do need to know that our domain is from 0 to 6. And it would be whole numbers because we will not have half of a weight at all. Okay, that just doesn't make sense. That being said, option A would not be valid. That's actually our domain. Okay. All right. So what do? We go second graph, and looks like our graph is in whole numbers, and we see from 0 to 6. And we have 4, 24, 44, 64, 84, 104, and 124. You can see all those here. Okay. So that verifies B again. And then you can see logically that C and D would not make sense. Okay. On the TI-Nspire, we need to enter our equation. We do that by going to a new document, which is best practice actually. We can arrow over where it says new document and press enter. And then it says, hey, do you want to save the old one? Let's go over all the way. We say no. Well, I don't want to. You may want to save your old document. It depends on what your needs are. I don't need to. So now I need to graph. So I arrow down, select graph, and that sets me up with a clean slate. And I'm on it's ready for me to enter my first function or equation. So I have 20x plus 4, and I enter and I see a graph. But I really need the table. Why? Because it's asking for the range, okay? And I really can't see that without playing around and zooming in and out, and that's unnecessary. Now, I can eliminate option A because that's actually my domain. It would be the B value of 4 would be at 0, and then I have up to 6 pairs of weights. So that would be from 0 to 6. So I can mark that out. But I need to know that because I need to see which of the options would make sense. And you probably have already figured it out. It's pretty obvious. But let's go ahead and go to menu and then go down to number 7, which is table, and it already has highlighted what we need, split screen table. So push enter, and there it is. It doesn't have 0 though, so arrow up and you see our 0, 4, our B value, where we would start. So we have 4, and then we go down 24, 44, 64, 84, 104, and then 124, and it verifies our domain and our range. And obviously our range is option B. And now that you've seen that, obviously, or you watched the prior part of the video or prior video, you know that C and D would not be adequate options. Okay, using either version of our Desmos calculator, we can get the same answer. So it doesn't matter which one you use. I'm using the TEKSES testing version. Okay, two ways that I can enter this. So I can go to the first line, use my keyboard, 20x plus 4. Of course, the line doesn't give me exactly what I need. I need the range, okay? So I need the range, but I also need to know my domain to know what values I need. And I need 0 for my B value, which would be a 4-pound barbell. And then I need 1 to 6 to get the values of the pairs, going up from 0 uh, plates up to 6. So it would be 0 to 6. Okay, so what do we do once I enter? I push the little gear and add a table. Okay, well, I have a little bit more than what I need. So I'm going to use my keyboard, arrow down, arrow right here. And then I can use this back button and it will get rid of the things that I don't need. Okay, but then you have to arrow down. I have my X in there. Let's see, 1, 2. I'm going to enter right here. Now watch what happens. It pops a 3. We'll keep pushing enter until you get everything you need. And then this will verify option B. I'm only looking at the Y values, and the Y values are underneath my graph. Now I need you to note that A would be the domain, and we're only interested in range. Allow me to show you another way to put this in. So I'm going to delete both of these out. Just push your X, and I'm going to push the plus symbol and create my table. Now that gives me an X of 1 because I can add in more than one table. Okay? That doesn't matter. So now I arrow over, use your keyboard or your mouse, and now I'm going to get rid of this Y. And in the place of that Y, I'm going to type in my equation, 20x, okay, plus 4. All right, there's just one thing. I used X, but over here, that's not what I have. So I can just put in an X if I don't want to put in X of 1, X of 2. Like I said, you only use the index of 1, 2, 3. You only use that if you're putting several in there. So this is exactly what I need. However, I do not have my domain values in, which is 0 to 6. So I push enter and then just start typing. Oops, let me go back up. It got upset with me. I didn't push it correctly. Let's see what I did wrong. Okay, 0, enter, 1, enter. Now it's catching on, and I can just keep pushing enter until I get all of the domain values or X values I need. And again, we verified option B. Thank you for watching. If you would like the materials that accompany these videos, you can visit us at numbersareradical.com. And once again, everyone, happy testing.